and welcome to the Become a Guitarist Today podcast with myself, Adam Roach. Now, in this episode, I talk to Andrew Bennett once again, and we talk about part 2 of the unreleased Van Halen footage. So we talk about all the new ones that's come out, the stuff he has available, and we also have a caller call in to talk about some of the footage as well. So if you do like this podcast and want to know more about what's happening, don't forget to subscribe and like. And now let's go over to Van Halen now. This is part of the Andrew Bennett footage from the 5150 collection, and this is On Fire. All right, welcome back, Andrew, for part 2.
Hey, Adam, what's happening?
Yeah, nothing much. We're very excited to have you on again to talk about the unreleased Van Halen footage part 2.
I like chatting with you. It's always fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
The things I've seen since we spoke last, I think I've seen maybe another 2 rehearsals, and I must say these rehearsals are incredible. Like, they're probably the best ones I've seen. I mean, they're all good, but these 2, like the things involved, amazing.
Yeah, I think I sent you another one the other day.
Yeah, I
don't want to say that, but I get the dates mixed up sometimes. I want to say it was January 24th.
That's right.
2007.
Yep.
Yeah. I focused a lot on like the January stuff because he was like so healthy and on point, you know.
That's right.
So it's cool. I really like that stuff. I mean, you know, October in the beginning is cool too when he's a little grittier.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So what month does it go up to in 2007? What's your last one?
June.
Oh, June. Okay.
Yeah, no, there's a break in there. So basically it's like October, November, January, June.
Okay.
Total to like 35 some odd rehearsals. And then obviously here I just picked the best 5.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, some I picked mainly I picked like the days where Ed was at his best.
Yeah.
Wise, health wise, you know.
So that break time from, was it like February to June? Was that, were you still filming then, or was that you were taking a break yourself as well?
I wasn't filming because they weren't playing.
Okay.
But I was there. At that point, you know, my desk is there, my chair is there, my whole computer system that I edit on is there. And it was kind of like, I don't know when they're going to start up again. I knew I was going to be coming back, so we just kind of never moved the desk or the chair or anything. It was like, basically, it was like my office for a while there.
At that time, when you come back, that's when you had the haircut, wasn't it? In June?
Yeah. Yeah, that's when the hair went away. It took a couple of days to get used to. You know, so used to, I mean, but they said there was a phase there in Van Halen where he had some shorter hair, but yeah, when it got all cut off, and it was nice, man, because he looked healthy.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I think it's a huge difference. Yeah.
No, I mean, I was like long hair on him because he's Eddie Van Halen, but like, you know, coming back and seeing this new, healthy, happy Ed was amazing.
All right. So if we can talk about some of the things in these rehearsals, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's what we're here to do, man.
Yeah. So I made a couple of notes. I thought if we start with the January 17th, 2007. Now, in this one here, there's a lot of things with Wolf and Ed, where Ed's showing Wolf some of the tapping things. And Ed jamming on NIB by Black Sabbath. Welcome to my little sneaky cam. I'm going to show you a little bit of Eddie playing NIB.
Yeah, it was one of the moments where I was filming because he would just kind of start riffing, you know, like he would never say like, "Hey, I'm about to play this."
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where like I'm holding the camera and I'm trying to be still, but in my head I'm like, he's playing fucking I'm watching Eddie Van Halen play fucking Sabbath. Like, you know, if I didn't have to look down at the screen the whole time, I would have looked up at God and thanked him.
Yeah.
yeah, it was one of those moments where like, it may sound silly, but it's like, I just watched Eddie Van Halen play Sabbath.
Mm.
Like, my parents were disappointed that I never became a lawyer. Now you know why.
Yeah,
So I can watch Eddie Van Halen play Sabbath.
yeah, exactly.
See my lawyer brother say that. I kid.
But yeah, that was amazing. Just seeing that, and then, yeah, like I said, you see Wolf. Oh, sorry, Ed goes up to Wolf and tells him about, you should try this out or something with the tapping and.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. Like, he didn't have to take a lot of moments to like show Wolf things.
no.
When he did, it's usually like boom, boom, like Wolf gets it.
Yep.
I think there's some moments in rehearsals that are, those moments go on a little longer, and he's trying to teach him stuff. But Ed always said like he's not really a teacher.
Yep.
It's like, Wolfgang, being the genius kid that he is, really learned by just watching.
Yep. Yeah.
I still think there's genetics in play somewhere, because there's no way that 3 family members just happen to be the greatest.
Oh yeah, amazing. I've got a Levi W wants to enter the room. Shall I let him in?
Oh yeah, let him in.
You know him?
What you have to say.
Okay, let's bring him in.
Oh, you guys can hear me. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we can hear.
Oh, there we go.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. This is a fantastic chance to talk things out and whatnot. This is amazing footage.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I'm shocked that this has been sitting around for so long. The fact that this hasn't come out previously. I mean, this is holy grail type stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the goal was to keep it rare. I mean, for a lot of years, there just wasn't really an outlet for it. There wasn't a safe place for it to live. Technology caught up. So, everybody's getting their, everybody gets their like private Dropbox right now to watch it with their watermarks on it. And then the notorious server should be up tomorrow. It's taken a bit of time. It's apparently far more complex than I understood, but yeah, man, it's cool to get to talk to you and like hear from people who have seen it.
Hey, yeah, this is fantastic. This is money definitely well spent, for sure.
So, are you a musician as well, Levi?
Yeah, a bedroom musician right now, but I'm hoping to play at least one live show by the end of the year. That's
cool.
my goal.
Well, you got lots of inspiration now on these videos.
Oh yeah. I'm watching the whole rehearsal, like wanting to play along, but I was just too sucked into it.
Well, I think it's, for guitar players, it's a good tutorial.
Absolutely.
I'll ask you as a musician, because like I've asked a couple of people this, and I know Adam and I are going to talk about it, but when I was going through the footage, before I did any of this, one of the consistent thoughts I had as a filmmaker was, are there too many close-ups of his hands?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Keep it coming.
Well, good, because there's a lot of close-ups in there.
It's cool to see like how he holds the pick and everything. It just all of it. I mean, you can't get enough detail in that. So
exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, exactly what you said. I mean, seeing that the way you've captured it, Andrew, those certain angles, like the way he holds it, you never really see that. I mean, you see the live videos, but never things like that. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I really tried to cover every angle in that very small space that I had. I would keep a list every day of like, today on Hot for Teacher, I had a little map. I was like, I was standing right here. So on Thursday for Hot for Teacher, I'll be over here.
All right. That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it wasn't just, a phone leaning up against the speaker.
So Levi, you got any favorite parts so far?
Honestly, all the parts of them just kind of talking, chattering. I mean, I know there's not too much of that, but that's gold. That's gold. I absolutely eat that stuff up. One thing in particular that I loved was the moment, Andrew, where you end up you come over to the side of them when they're talking, and Ed's showing him the Mean Street kind of tapping thing, and he's like, come on, I showed you this before, and Wolfie does it like on the bass, damn near exact, and I was just like, wow, okay.
Yep.
And he's like bored the whole time. He just wants to get back to the video games or something, and that's what was killing me. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I always said he always looked like a kid at his after school job. Just
Yeah.
instead of Starbucks, his job was to be the new bass player in Van Halen. Probably just maintaining his composure and I mean, he is a Van Halen. He's probably spending more time thinking about playing and thinking about getting better than he is, his charisma or personality.
No, so that's incredible. So I'm glad you're liking it, Levi.
Oh yeah. This is, like I said, I cannot I can't say it enough. I mean, I'm blessed to have this footage.
Thanks, man.
And again, my apologies for being all weird too. I'm very nervous. This is like I think, matter of fact, the first Zoom meeting I've ever done too. So
No, you're doing
man.
well.
The only time I go on camera is with Adam. It's the only time I feel comfortable. Other than that, I do the black screen, or I do like a picture of the book or something. In everybody's collection, there's a folder of audio that's like a full set, like 14 songs, but it's like a full song. It's a full set list, and it's straight from the board at 5150.
Oh so, shit! Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
I always said for singers, this has got to be like the best karaoke in the world. If you ever wanted to be David Lee Roth, like it's because it's just the three Van Halens, and you guys know better than I do, but like to me, it was like hearing Van Halen in this whole new way. Yep. With no singer, and like from the board, it's so raw and gritty. I mean, it's clean because it's recorded. The engineer is handling it. Just a side note, those do get sent as AIF files. So they're big, but big meaning like that's the best quality you get. So they're not.
Hell yeah.
They're not compressed MP3s. Like you should play this shit very loud.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to it. That's awesome.
Well, cool, man. I'm glad you're digging it.
Absolutely. One question I was curious about. So in the book, there's that picture of blonde Eddie coming out of rehab. Is there any footage of that day
when he has the short hair?
Yeah, like the kind of frosted tip looking cut.
There's rehearsals when he has the frosted tips, but the problem is that there weren't that many days of that. But at that point, they had shifted into the big room where Alex's kit is, and so that room was way too loud to film in. Like it would have been nothing but just blown out speakers. But what I did get from that day was the day he played Eruption. I'll go revisit those days and see if anything sound-wise is salvageable. But man, that room was loud. So Levi, their Eruption is when he has the blonde hair. I'll check January. I think he got that hair cut in like April or May. So it's really just the June stuff. Yeah. But it gives me an idea of like going back into that June stuff and maybe pulling stuff where they're just talking. Maybe the June stuff, I pull stuff where they're just hanging out, chatting in between songs. Yeah.
Great.
I just planted an idea in my head.
Hey, hell yeah.
Good idea. That'd be great.
Well, I'm sure there is footage that's not in either collection. More so, I mean, I don't know, just kind of really anything. I mean, I know when you were up there filming, it was more so kind of like a documentary. Did you guys only really just focus on the like recording instrumentals, not too much of banter and so on?
No, I mean, honestly, there wasn't a lot of banter even when the camera's not rolling. Al kind of came up. Al would hang out for 2 or 3 minutes when he first got there, then go into his room. And the same thing, he would leave, hang out for a couple of minutes. there is, as far as like them not playing, there is the piece where Wolfgang has the idea to call David Lee Roth and reunite the band. And then throughout the rehearsals, there will be points in like every rehearsal where they are in the same room, maybe chatting a little bit. But like when I first went back in I was there in 04, but when I went back in 06 and I started filming, I realized like, so there's not a lot of hanging out. We're kind of going in, playing, and then you guys are done. So I asked Ed, I was like, so, because I had done this documentary on Deftones, and I had documented Katy Perry and some other people. So that's kind of what was in the forefront of my mind, was making this documentary maybe. And so I asked Ed, in very bluntly, what am I doing here? Like, if you wanted to have a conversation with Ed, you had to be direct and to the point, be blunt, honest. I said, what am I doing here? And he goes, you're documenting all this because I want people to see how hard I work. And there you go. That's what the man did 18 hours a day. Was just play the guitar. There wasn't not a lot of hangout sessions, no people coming over. Like, you just played the guitar.
I heard like sometimes like 15 hours a day.
Oh, easy. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was it. I mean, during my time there, I noticed just from the internet, I noticed that as the years went on, he was going out and golfing, friends of George Lopez, and like doing things, just fucking awesome. But at that time when I was there, that's all he did. Like, I never really saw him go anywhere off the property.
Did you happen to record the moment sometime after Wolfie's voicemail of Dave calling Ed and Ed being like, why the fuck are you calling me?
I wish that was on film, man, but it's not.
I tell that story to some people time and time again, and that's just gold. That's gold.
No, I think that came to his cell phone like later on in the evening or something. Virtually every day, I was like, I can't make this shit up.
That's right.
From the kind of more outlandish, crazy stuff to just the genius that I'm watching. Like when I wrote the book, I made it a point, I'd say with the majority of the stories, that this story can be backed up with footage. So like in the book, when I talk about Wolf calling Dave, it's like, okay, well, there is footage for this. This really did happen. Yeah. But trust me, some of those stories in the book, I wish there'd been a camera rolling.
Yeah, that book is fantastic, by the way. As soon as I got that, however long ago, I blazed through that shit in an afternoon. I killed that damn book.
Thanks, man. That was kind of my goal too. I was like, I've been approached by all these ideas of like, do you want to write this like tell-all book of your time with Eddie Van Halen? And I always said no, and not at all. Like, I was there as a filmmaker. I'm not the band's manager. I wasn't with them for 20 years. Like, somebody like Noel Monk has every right to write a book. My God, the man was basically the fifth member of Van Halen. I felt like my job was really just to give people an insight into what it's like up there every day. So hopefully I did that. People got a feeling for like, between the footage and the book being like that fly on the wall at 5150.
Absolutely. You definitely get that vibe between the book and the footage for sure. It definitely accomplishes that. And before I go, I do have one last question. Because you were up there in 2004, is there anything left over from as far as 2004 footage? Good 2004 footage, I might add.
Yeah. I had done that video for It's About Time that's out there.
Did they ever jam like Learning to See or anything?
No, I was there for the recording of It's About Time. And so I had put together this video back then in 04. It was kind of the same thing, like, what am I doing here? And Glenn Ballard, who was producing those songs, said, it's like, wait, I just did my Ed voice as Glenn Ballard. Oops. Glenn Ballard said, "Hey man, if you want, you can take some of this footage, cut it together, make a little music video for it." And then Glenn gave me some money to do that. And I cut this together and lived on my website for years and years. And so it got out there. But no, the stuff in 04, look, man, I'm not spilling the beans on anything. Like, Ed wasn't in his best shape. Physically, he wasn't in his best shape, but also he was kind of angry at some shit at the time. So he wasn't that happy. So the way I kind of see it is I have all this stuff from 06 and 07, showing him at his best, showing him happy, showing him sometimes he's frustrated with some things. Like, you get a sense of like who the man is. But in 04, man, I can't do that. Like,
yeah, I heard it. It was some pretty dark times from what I hear.
But yeah, man, like I was saying, like, from the book to the footage, I try to treat everything with respect. And the stuff in 04, he just wasn't at his best, man. I only want to show him at his best.
Yeah, so. It's best to be, left in the past.
I mean, I've been sober for 8.5 years. If somebody had footage of me from 9.5 years ago, holy shit.
Yeah, I understand.
I would not want that stuff out there. I don't remember 2014 for starters. So,
hey, congrats on your sobriety, though, man. It takes a lot. My dad's going through it right now. So,
right on, man. Well, I got to watch Ed, kind of clean up there in 07. That was a big inspiration, right? But yeah, man, everything I do, from talking to people, the footage, the book, I just treat it all with respect. That's it. The man's a legend, and I'm never going to do anything to tarnish that legacy. And also, he was an amazing human being. Said a million times, when people were like, I think because, in the book, you see that, like, I never got paid. So people think I had, like, this chip on my shoulder. I'm like, I really don't, man. That's just rock and roll. Shit happens. That doesn't change my opinion of him as a person. One of the most amazing people I ever knew.
Yeah,
I wish most of my friends were as humble and kind as Eddie Van Halen was.
Hey, there you go. Well, I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you so much for letting me come on here. I apologize for being so nervous. And I look forward to speaking next time. And I will be in touch. I will be buying more. Absolutely. I'm a very, very happy customer.
I'll drop that folder of the audio from the soundboard as soon as I'm done here.
Hell yeah, sounds good, man. Y'all have a great rest of your night.
All right, man. You too.
Thanks, Levi.
That was nice.
That was good. Yeah, good to be with us. Awesome.
I've gotten on the phone with quite a few people and just chatted up, and I don't know, man. Like, it's really cool because I had this very unique experience, and so when I get to talk to people and share like stories and give you some insight into the man and the work ethic, like, that's fun for me. I like it.
That's good.
My friends are like, aren't you tired of talking about him? I'm like, no, man. Not at all. It brings joy to people. And we live in this fucked up celebrity culture where everybody wants to take a celebrity down or, gossip and talk shit. And it's not who I am, period. But even if you put a gun to my head, joking aside, even if you put a gun to my head, like, I don't have anything bad to say at all. Like, I love talking about his personality and his work ethic, and
that's good.
He taught me a lot, except guitar.
That's awesome. Now, I wouldn't mind just quickly, if we can, just touch on the other rehearsal, which was the January 24th, 2007. Now, this one, this is probably, again, one of my favorites. There's lots of jamming going on. This one's got Led Zeppelin riffs in there. It's got them making up songs. Like, you actually see Wolf and Eddie making up different riffs. It's incredible. Like, this one, I think any fan will love this.
Yeah, that's one of the ones. It's also one of my favorites too. I really like that one, kind of for the reasons you mentioned. Like, here he is jam. it's not even like he's like, it's not like Al's on the drums and Ed's shredding and they're just covering Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
It's Ed just kind of riffing some Zeppelin. There's Eddie Van Halen just, just playing a little Jimmy Page. And yeah, like you were saying, like when him and Wolf are kind of like playing off of each other and maybe come up with a little something, that's fucking beautiful, man. Like, it's such a great father and son moment. And, I've talked to a couple of guys who are dads who like, jam with their sons and mention like that touched them. Like there's always a little something in the footage that kind of catches people or touches people in a different way, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And, while Wolf, would stand there a lot and look like this bored teenager, he really wasn't bored, man. He was having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing some of that footage too, like the smile on Ed's face.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. This was the beginning of like that union of them as bandmates. And Ed getting to finally play with his son. So that happiness on Ed's face is just amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But even to have that, like I said, writing songs and writing riffs, you can't see that anywhere else in the world. There's no footage like that ever.
No, yeah, man. I mean, I try to be modest about the footage, but it is what it is, man. It's the only shit in the world. Like, but I think that's cool. Like, this stuff sat on a hard drive for 16 years. And, a lot of that time was kind of, I don't want to get on this negative shit, but a lot of that was like, well, I'm not going to do anything with it because one of these days somebody will say, did we ever pay Andrew? But, the big part of it was how to really properly package it, who to sell it to. I've gotten a couple of messages from people who, were saying things like, you would make so much more money if you put it on YouTube and had ads. And to me, that just kind of cheapens it. I get it, man. Like, if you see it on YouTube, it's free and all you have to do is sit through, some fucking ad for laundry detergent. But, this stuff, when people are getting it, is full HD. It's the highest res output from Final Cut Pro. So, on YouTube, it would be compressed. The audio would sound like shit. Like, putting it on YouTube cheapens it. And it's also kind of like the antithesis of what Eddie is about. Eddie was all about quality, getting it right, doing it right, no half-assing it.
Yep.
And so, yes, to those who wrote me, yes, I am aware that if I put it on YouTube and sold ad space to fucking Chipotle or whoever putting ads on shit, yes, I'm aware of that. But, even though I am a starving artist who has a coin jar by the door, I respect the legacy, man. And the legacy shouldn't be cheapened like that.
Yep, no, that's right.
Yeah, so if anybody, all they have to do is just send me over an email. I usually respond within minutes. So I send over a PDF, like just this basic one-page PDF that's like a little intro into what it is, the two collections I put together with the two prices, what's in there. That's it. Pretty simple.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so again, for people that do get the packages, once they get your PDF, I do have the PDF all here with a breakdown what's on all the videos. So just reach out to me and I'm happy to share that as well.
Yeah, man, that was so cool when you sent that to me. Like, that's what's I mean, dude, I fucking love you for so many reasons, but when you sent that to me, dude, I could have locked myself in a cabin for a year and never done that. I would have never been able to figure it out. You catch all these things I don't catch. Like I've learned more about Eddie and Van Halen in the last couple of months than ever before.
Yeah.
From reading like the stuff you break down and like talking to people and
So hopefully we'll do this again. We'll get some maybe more callers in to ask some more questions, which was great. So thank you, Levi, for joining us. And we'll hopefully get some more next time.
Yeah, I think you and I'll chat, but we'll set a date. But I'll definitely rally, another five. I'll get some 5 people. We'll
Yep.
get them on here.
Yeah.
We'll try to get Pete Wozniak. If Woz is listening, there's a chance he is, man. He had said he had heard me on things before. And I'll send him the link when this is ready too, man. So Woz, if you're watching, man, pop in. Tell me what you thought.
That'd be awesome. Come on.
Also do something about my recalled MacBook Pro.
That's cool. Yeah, so we'll definitely do it next time. And thanks again for doing this for us for part 2.
Yeah, dude. It's always good to talk to you, man.
All right, I'll talk to you real soon.
Have a good one.
See ya. Bye-bye.